So when you think about your design and the different paths it will take, how long it will be kind of in circulation, what its life cycle looks like, how do you go about finding the right components that match that life cycle? Or do you automatically, as you plan and as you build, do you automatically assume things are going to go obsolete along the way?
I think you need to think that things are going to be going obsolete along the way. You can try to pick a product or a component that you think is going to be, but it's a roll of the dice. If it's not your product and you don't control it, it's up to the manufacturers whether they're going to kill it or not. So having that foresight to know, hey, come on my design in 2 years, I may not be able to get this component. I don't know if you can look at other components, maybe a newer component or something that's out there rather than maybe a 30-year-old component. Likelihoods of something that's older being obsolete is greater than something that's newer being obsolete. So something like that, and also just knowing like the technologies that are coming out, keeping a pulse on that to know how that connector might be going, that design of the component might be going in the future. Is it going to be smaller? Is it going to be like smaller center lines, less board space, which is an engineer should think that because that's where everything's going. It's not, you don't have these huge motherboards anymore, these connectors that are 200 center line, it's everything's shrinking down. So thinking of that as you're designing that, and maybe even going that step up front is, okay, can we get this in a smaller center line or something, would be the main way of doing that.
Do you also de-risk some of that transition or some of those challenges by finding 2 or 3 sources? Like, is that a requirement going forward where you have mission critical parts where you need 2 or 3 sources on it to try to find those guarantees?
Yeah, a lot of customers do that. They dual source, which is fine. And it also depends on the customer. You mentioned about the dual sourcing and guaranteeing that. Automotive or aerospace, they need to have product that's around 5, I think, to 10 years, respectively. So you can't design something in that, and that's kind of on, as a design engineer, on making sure that product is available from the manufacturer that long. So it's a multifaceted problem that needs addressed and worked on as a team.